Can anyone see us? Can you hear us?
Ooh,
All right. So everything we
amazing.
said, well, we already covered the webinar. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, seriously. All right. I'm so sorry, guys. Thank you for pinging us in the chat.
Start from the top.
We're going to start from the top here. Sorry about that. Good thing that we have bite-sized updates, Logan.
Yeah, that's right.
So quick recap. Sorry that we missed you guys. We are going to quickly go over October product updates. If you want to get a text version of any of these, you can go to triplewhale.com/releases after this to get more documentation, see the knowledge base, all of that. And again, before we dive in, I am Mary. I'm a product marketing manager at Triple Whale. I've been here for almost a year, and my co-host is Logan Brown, our product manager.
What's up? Thanks for having me. Let's get this thing going. I'm excited. So as Mary mentioned before that you probably didn't hear, October is full of a couple of like efficient updates that we feel will make your life just a little easier. Hopefully will align with some of your expectations around Shopify data. And we're excited to kind of tell you what changes exist and how this might impact the way you can understand your store's performance.
Yeah, let's dig in.
Boom.
All right. We've got 7 updates for you guys. Like we said, it is bite-sized. And Logan, do you think you can remember exactly what you said for COGS?
Yeah. I just was reading off the teleprompter, so let's just do it again.
Perfect. All right.
No, I'm just kidding. All right, so let's talk about updating COGS. So a couple years ago, when I was helping manage a brand, COGS are really important because it kind of helps with understanding your contribution margin, your net profit. But one thing that I think all of us probably deal with are returns, right? So products that come back to us that were once sold, right, and then were included in cost of goods sold. They come back and we can add them back into stock because they're in good enough shape to resell. Before, we had kind of just calculated COGS as is, whatever was sold, and the value of that item was accounted for there. But now, based on your Shopify settings, so let's say you receive an item back, and you click that little setting that says like add this back to inventory. We'll go ahead and update your COGS setting or the COGS number, the metric, so that it reflects all the goods that came back, and you're gonna go ahead and resell. And that way, that's just as up to date as possible moving forward. And for what it's worth, that amount will be reflected on the date that you added the item back to inventory, or the day that it was refunded and added back to inventory.
Mm-hmm. I know we went over this last month, guys. If you have not checked out the breakdown in these summary tiles, highly recommend clicking into them and seeing how those calculations are done.
Yeah, the breakdown thing here is really great. So make sure you're taking advantage of that and then ask questions if you aren't sure about how something works.
Yeah. And as we go through this, please feel free to drop questions in the chat and we will answer them as we go. All right.
Yeah, please do. All right, so let's talk about shipping cost settings for a moment. Excuse my voice for now. I think this is going to become even better over time, but right now we're just slowly making updates that I think will be beneficial for all. But to date, what you've been able to do in shipping costs is actually update like a flat fee per country that you're in. But now we're going to be doing a couple of different things. You can set up these settings in your shipping cost page where you can set it to be the shipping cost is what you charge the customer. So let's say that typically you just try to cover your costs of shipping with that shipping revenue. You can do that directly in the shipping the shipping page. But alternatively, if you want to be more granular, what you can do is actually upload a list of order IDs. And then with those order IDs, you can have the actual cost to ship all those orders and upload those in weekly, monthly, whatever you want. And those costs will be directly reflected in your summary page and all of your expenses.
All right. Next up, let's see. Summary metric tiles. This is somewhat similar to what I said about clicking into your summary tiles to see the breakdown, but even more of a triple whale hack. Now you can run your mouse along these nice, beautiful blue lines and see exact numbers and dates. So you don't need to get all the way into the graph and try and figure out what happened when and where that spike is coming from.
Yeah, what's kind of nice about this right away is let's take Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and like the trailing days, like when you start your promotion. This should help you with like speed and efficiency. So basically, what I would do there is I would pin your revenue, I would pin your new customer cost per acquisition, maybe MER, ROAS, and you should be able to, by the hour even of today, understand how things are tracking. And if you have all those things in your pin section, instead of having to open up each individual one to really see the numbers that make up the graph, just hover your mouse over there, kind of see how things are trending, and then decide, okay, now I'm going to go ahead and crank spend up just a little bit. And then as you do, you can easily see incrementally how that's changing in the graph without having to like open up each one and close it and open and close. So hopefully just a little bit of an efficiency hack here.
Yeah, love efficiency. All right, RFM audiences. This is for everyone who has the SCDP. Logan, you want to tell us about it?
Yeah, sure. So just as a reminder about RFM, so the way we did this, they're kind of listed as like AI, but essentially what we're doing is it's an algorithm that runs like recency, frequency, and monetary value. So let's say that you had a customer who has ordered like once every 6 months over the last year, right? They may be like your loyal audience. But then like whales might be somebody who has spent a really high amount of value, but maybe they only have 1 or 2 orders, right? So that's the weight here of monetary value over recency or frequency. And so now I think a lot of people are just not really sure how that works. And hopefully to provide a little bit more clarity, there's going to be an eyeball icon next to each of these segments in your CDP, and that allows you to visualize exactly the makeup of the cohort in the segment rather.
You can't edit from the little eyeball. You can only view, but I feel like it's a big hack anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we can tease a little. I mean, one thing you can do right now is you can duplicate any audience and then kind of edit the definition if you want to change things up. And then soon, with our AI product, you're going to be able to pretty much with natural language build any kind of audience you want with whatever parameters you want. So if you wanted to tell our AI product, hey, show me a list of customers who have ordered more than $200 worth of goods, have placed less than 3 orders. So let's say their average order value becomes like 125 or something. And they've done that. They've done those placed those orders in the last 6 months or something. It'll just generate a list for you almost in like 30 seconds. So this is like the laying the groundwork, and then I think the AI feature will take things to the next level for you.
Awesome. All right. We have redefined how we calculate AOV. And you guys may have noticed that we have a metric called true AOV now, which is broken down by Shopify AOV and true AOV, which, Logan, correct me if I'm wrong, but true AOV is a triple whale metric versus Shopify AOV is a Shopify metric, correct?
Yeah. So what we did here is we actually, just so everyone's aware, we actually did change the way that AOV is formulated in the summary page. So the way that Shopify provides AOV, they actually exclude shipping and taxes. Now everyone knows you have to pay taxes, but I'll get to shipping in a moment. So it's excluding shipping and taxes. And then what we call true AOV, because we have so many customers that were doing like free orders for influencers or affiliates or doing test orders, it was really throwing off their average order value because the denominator of AOV is the count of orders. So for true AOV, we exclude $0 orders, and that way that count doesn't get out of whack. But one thing I want to note is we also added a metric. So in our custom metric builder, you can add a metric in there called orders over $0. And then you can divide order revenue by that to go back to the original AOV that Triple Whale's had historically. The only reason you may want to do that, in my opinion, is if you are trying to potentially break even or make money on the shipping charges that you're giving or presenting to your customer. So in some scenarios, if you have a really great product and customers are going to buy it regardless of like a free shipping offer, there's an opportunity there to even make shipping somewhat of a profit center. So if you know that it costs you about $7 to ship, you might be able to charge $10 on average. And if your distribution center is in Texas, all those Texas orders cost probably like $3 to ship. And then everywhere outside of that range, maybe like 5 to 10. But using AOV with shipping included might help you just understand a little bit of like that contribution margin breakdown as you remove the cost, the true cost of shipping later on. And you can see if you're charging maybe too much, which is harming conversion rate, or if you're charging just right and you're kind of making money off your shipping. So that was long-winded. I just wanted to just let folks know that you may want to include shipping in your AOV, but for now it matches what Shopify has.
All right. Oops. Sorry, guys. Skipped right past these. All right.
Nice.
Our last two big updates have to do with gross sales and more insights filters. Do you want to cover gross sales?
Yeah, gross sales is pretty easy. It's just one of those things we haven't had historically. And we've even had some shops tell us like this is the metric they work off of, not total order revenue, but gross sales. So similar to what we were doing with AOV, this is to better match Shopify and just bring this into the ecosystem so you can use it if you'd like. But it's just the products you sold. So let's just say widget A, B, and C multiplied by or their price times the quantity that was ordered per order. And it's excluding taxes, it's excluding shipping, discounts, and returns. That way, if you want to see like gross sales, and then you can look at discounts on a totally separate line item, you can do that now.
And for the new insights filters, this is just to add another layer of information into your existing reports. On the customers level, you can now filter by account creation date, store account creation date. And on the attribution level, there is a whole slew of things. I'm not going to read all of these off for you. But that said, you can find these updated in our knowledge base and again at triplewhale.com/releases. And before we get into, I see Matt has a question in the chat. Before we get into that, I am going to drop a link for you guys and plug Ocean Hours. So Ocean Hours is another Triple Whale webinar that happens twice a month with our e-commerce experts, Raquel and Alejandro. And they are going to really dig into each of these updates and show you exactly how to use them and demo them. So Ocean Hours is happening next Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. And I'm going to find that link for you. But Logan,
while you're doing that, I can answer the question. That way you can have some time to search for it. So Matt asked on the topic of COGS under ad reporting for meta campaigns that optimize for web and shop, is there a way to see details in the meta purchases? We get a decent amount of conversions from Facebook shop and the COGS, et cetera, is not reflected. Yeah, great question. Our team did have a meeting with Meta a week or two ago, and on the topic of Meta shops and just how we wanted to report, and really they're very receptive to the information we wanted. So yeah, all of that information, like we do want to try to get more detailed information on what products were purchased, the total value or the value of each individual order. Would even be great for us to show like the order number and all that stuff, but it's not available through the API right now. Even the ability to split that out between new and returning customers would be really important for you and us to display. It's just it's very limited. So right now they're just providing like bulk access to the attribution. So just saying, hey, $1,000 is attributed to this campaign through Meta Shops versus through the web. But I do think, Matt, what you can do in Shopify is go into your orders and do a filter by channel and there should be a channel called Meta Shop Purchases, or you might have it set up as like just Facebook and Instagram Shop. And from there, you could add extra columns that would maybe have COGS, things like that. And you could do like an export and just like review that data until we're able to extract some of that information from the API and then give you more granular visualization into it.
Awesome. Does anyone have any other questions? They don't have to be related to our product updates, but anything that we can answer for you in the next 6 minutes or so before we jump off.
Yeah, what's everybody excited about or nervous about? I mean, I've already seen some people starting promotions. And I imagine by next week, maybe even next weekend, things are probably going to pop off pretty fast. So I'd love to learn more. If anybody has any questions, concerns, or wants to share with the group, that'd be cool. All right. So sorry if I mispronounce this. Hopefully, Julio. Any new subscription metrics updates? I'm trying to think sorry, I'm not on that team, but I don't think we've done anything specific on subscription metrics. Do you have anything in mind that you'd like to see in Triple Whale that we don't have yet?
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think we have gotten any new subscription metrics specifically. That said, if you guys have Recharge or have any kind of subscription provider, you should be able to view subscription metrics in Pixel now. Alyssa is wondering, any idea when the total attribution model will be available for Affluencer Hub?
Yeah, total impact. I need to check in there. I apologize for the delay. I know some customers have brought up some reports of that feeling a bit off or inaccurate. So I need to check with the lead developer who manages total impact and just try to understand where the gaps exist. And then we can hopefully update everyone via email. Whale mail might be a good thing for that, or Ocean Hours, or maybe even the webinar next time we do this. So good question. I just need to gather some more information there for you. All right, so no ideas yet from Julio, but keep us posted if there's anything there that you really want to dig into that we haven't given you access to. All right, so Joseph asks, we have customers that make edits to their order, so the order and revenue shows up multiple times in Shopify and Triple Whale. Is there a way to only show users that have unique orders? So Joseph, it's hard to answer without seeing it. I've seen a customer recently where when you click on the order journey, it's quite literally a unique order ID, but it's the same customer, and it'll be like within seconds of each other or minutes. Maybe that was you. Or maybe you have a similar style where like your third-party upsell app or something is making the edits and it's just making it a separate order. Right now, I'll say that if there's an edit if it's one order ID and it's an edit to the order, like a third-party upsell that goes in and edits that original order, soon our new database change is actually going to continuously update the pixel page with any updates that might have happened. So if a customer orders for $100, then 10 minutes later activates that upsell offer for a $30 product, within a few hours, we'll have the pixel table updated to reflect that full $130 amount. But if it's two separate order IDs, in the current Triple Whale, there's not a great way to consolidate those unique order IDs into like one customer. But our AI product could certainly do something like show me a list of customers, or like show me a list of customers, the number of orders they have, and the amount of revenue they've generated based on email address, as an example. And it would consolidate that for you. And then you could do that with an attribution table, like, and has clicked on a Facebook ad. But let me know. Yeah, maybe we can talk offline. We can look at your use case and just make sure that we have overturned all the potential stones of solutions. All right. So Jordan, is it possible to do regional breakdowns of customers or conversions? I'd like to compare meta performance by region. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be such a great idea. It's such a good use case for the AI. And sorry, this is like we're kind of playing around with it on our end, and I could probably build this for you, to be honest. So right now, like what we can do is we can ask the AI to make us a table that says maybe not by region, or we could at least define the region for the AI. We'd say categorize Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, Texas, etc., as the Southeast region, and show me how many customers in the Southeast region have clicked on a Facebook ad in the last 30 days. And it could do that for you as an example, and we could break that down. So right now it's not really possible in Triple Whale except for the AI function that we have.
Which our AI has been moving locations a little bit, but you guys will find it in your top right, the little Willy icon, if you are not
a little whale
familiar. But I think regional queries is probably the most popular when we're demoing and testing internally for Willy. So definitely
certainly break it down by state, and I think you could tell it to categorize a group of states as something. I think you could do that for sure. All right, so Matt asked, we use triple attribution because it ties conversions to specific orders, whereas total impact doesn't. Any reason I should be using the recommended total impact model instead? Yeah, I mean, I think all right, so let me give you a scenario and tell you why total impact is a bit more helpful, I suppose, maybe even more efficient. Right now, if you're using triple attribution, hopefully you're also using one of the post-purchase survey services, whether it's ours, Fairing, or no. And right now, what you kind of have to do, because orders are not deduplicated in triple attribution, they're an order could be attributed to Facebook and Google and TikTok if they clicked all three. And then their survey response might be Facebook individually or something, right? So what you kind of have to do is look at post-purchase survey data and try to get a feel. Okay, well, 30% of my customers say they're coming from Facebook and 10% say Instagram. And this other one says TikTok. And oh, well, if I look back a week, it looks like TikTok is actually growing a bit in the responses. And oh, does that relate well to how much I'm spending on TikTok? And then you have to blend that again with, you have to go back to the kind of triplet or the pixel page and look at the click-based data to understand how that's looking. And in your mind, you're trying to determine, okay, well, I got 10% from TikTok on the post-purchase survey, and I know that I have a 1.25 ROAS on a click. How does that correlate? Total impact just takes all of that data and melds it together so that your mind doesn't have to do the calculations for you. So that's why I would say it's a bit more efficient from like a channel level. It should give you an output that tells you which channels are driving. And I hate to use like the word impact when that's in the actual name of the product, but it really is more like which one is driving the most value for the business right now. And then you can look at the spend levels and try to understand or determine if you're going to spend more in one place. But I still think like one thing to note is that it uses linear all as the baseline, because it has to use, like, it splits credit. So if a customer did click on two different ad channels, we would give half the order credit to one and half the order to the other, and that creates in total the total number of orders of your shop. We can't use triple attribution necessarily as the baseline. So in any case, I think triple attribution can be helpful if you want to like look at a single channel and really understand how much volume it's driving, and if that amount of volume feels good to you. And then you can look at order overlap and try to decipher, are these customers net new, or are they also interacting with other channels? I think that's certainly a good way to go about using MTA for your decision making. I don't know if Mary has anything else to add. That's my thought.
No, I agree with that. I think that total impact, kind of the question, triple attribution is supposed to tie conversions to specific orders versus total impact can be used to help you identify things that are not a direct conversion path, and highlight, the channels that you might be undervaluing because you can't directly tie them to conversions. So, yeah.
And I kind of brought this up in a previous webinar way back when. This may be more confusing, but this is the way my mind thought about it when it was explained to me by a developer. But if anybody's seen like the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie, there's this character in the movie. His name's like Mike, but he goes by TV Mike, like he's obsessed with television. And so there's like this scene where Willy Wonka is showing how he can like blow up chocolate bars, like make them really big. And he could take a massive chocolate bar and then make it small. And so Mike is like, oh, make me small. I want to fit in the TV. And then when he does that, Mike becomes like all of these random particles in the air. And you see him like in a zillion different dots, right? So that is what total impact does. It takes your entire conversion value, all the money you've made in those orders, the number of orders, and throws it up in the air into a bunch of tiny little pieces. And then it's deciding, okay, well, a couple of these pieces belong here and a couple of these other pieces belong there. And because we're doing that, that's why we can't show you the individual orders anymore directed at or attributed to Facebook, because for an example, like as an instance, like there might be just like a tiny little fraction of one order and a tiny little fraction of another order. And so it'd be very, very confusing if we showed you a list of orders when maybe only 10% of the value of that order or even 1% was actually attributed to Facebook. So that's why it's just aggregate numbers.
Yeah. Julio, I just took a screenshot of that suggestion, and we'll make sure that it gets passed on. So thank you. And Jordan, Logan, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that Willy is available for Growth and Pro as well.
Yeah, it's a good question. I do not pay enough attention to our tiers. Like since we have like admin access, it's just available to me. So I haven't I don't know an answer to that question, but it sounds like an easy one for us to figure out for them.
Yes, I'm 90% sure that Willy is available. Like there are different versions of Willy. We have different versions of our AI throughout the app. But I believe that you can access it in all paid plans. Interesting. Okay. This might have changed recently.
Yeah, it's going through a lot of changes right now. So, but you can message us either through the chat or by email. We can take a look for you and let you know what's possible.
Yeah. Thanks for the call out. All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining us today. And again, if you have any questions, drop in the chat. And we will be back next month with more updates. And actually, next month, we will have a huge update for you guys. A big feature add to Triple Whale. So be sure to come next month. We might have a guest appearance, Logan. Maybe Yago will come.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck to everybody on Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Ping us before you start your promotions if we can help with anything. So.
Yes, please do. All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday.
Ooh. Later.
Bye, guys.
See ya.